107.1 Radyo Pilipinas Agoo. Ito ang Library on Air.
Kaibigan, sa magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa isa naman pong edisyon ng ating programang DMMMSU Library on Air. Hatid po sa inyo ng DMMMSU at ng DZAG, Radyo Pilipinas Agoo. Ngayon po ay araw ng Huwebes, October 28, 2021. At espesyal na naman po ang ating edisyon ngayon at pagpapatuloy natin ang PAARL Stndrds. So ito po ang inyong lingkod, Charity Jimenez Frianeza mula po sa DZAG, Radyo Pilipinas Agoo. At ang aking magiging partner po na host ngayong umaga, walang iba po kundi ang mismong librarian ng Open University System ng DMMMSU. Walang iba kundi si Ma'am Claire Pascual. Good morning, Ma'am Claire.
Hi, good morning, Ma'am Chelsea, and hello, good morning sa ating guests and sa ating mga kabasa. Sa lahat ng tagapakinig at taga-subaybay ng ating DMMMSU Library on Air, welcome to our 68th episode. And this will be our fifth topic about PAARL Stndrds. And this is Claire Pascua, all the way from DMMMSU Open University System Library, ang inyong makakasama sa isang oras na talakayan. Good morning!
Good morning. Ayan, Ma'am
Good morning.
Claire. Yes,
Good morning.
Pwede na po natin introduce yung ating magiging guest ngayon.
Okay. So, to start, ayan. Actually, mga kabasa, no? We are very lucky today for we have with us the legends in the library profession, no? They are widely known. And for me, you are not a true blue librarian if you do not know them. Okay. All right. The first legend that I'm going to introduce is the University Librarian of the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, Davao City. He's also a professor in education as well as in library and information science. He has so many notable accomplishments. One of them are he formed the Cotabato City Librarians Association, or the CCLA, and considered the precursor of librarians associations in the Cotabato homeland. And probably the first to establish a seminar workshop funded by PAPE in Mindanao in the early 80s. Wow. No? He established the Davao Colleges and Universities Network, or the DACON, Library Committee in 2013, a network of 12 colleges and universities in Davao City that annually conducts the highly acclaimed and well-attended Philippines Book Information Science and Technology Conference and Fair, now running on its 15th year. Bookstore Davao and the Mindanao Alliance of Educators in Library and Information Science, the Mindanao Group of Teachers in the Profession. On 25 of October 2014, he formed another network, but this time of Mindanao State Colleges and Universities, where he serves as a consultant, aptly named Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Library Network. This is a network of around 40 state-funded colleges and university libraries whose objective is spelled out in the acronym ONE-VAM, or One Vision, One Access, One Mindanao. Our speaker rose from the ranks, garnering a sterling record of first, always the pioneer. No? He was the first editor of SLUC from the Silliman University Library Occasional Bulletin in 1983 to 1985, and the Mindanao Courier 1991 to 1995 conceptualized, edited, and trained librarians and library staff of the DACON that yearly publishes both the DACON Abstracts International, or DAI, and the DACON Index to periodicals, and lately the DMMI, probably the only sustaining library and information science abstracting and indexing journals of its kind in the country today. He has also published some articles and papers in library and information science journals. His professional accomplishments will never go unnoticed. In 2004, he delved in the national scene and was elected as the National Board of Trustees of the Philippine Librarians Association Incorporated, or PLAI, and the Philippine Association of Teachers of Library Science. He was also awarded as the Outstanding Academic Librarian in 2004 by PAARL. UP Mindanao also has twice recognized him as a Gawad Chancellor para sa pinakamahusay na reps or research extension and professional staff, or outstanding reps in 2005 and 2014 respectively. He's truly a legend. Now, let us all welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Bishop Merced Jr. Sir?
Good morning, Sir
Thank
Briggs.
you. I sorry. Yeah. Thank you for that historical and legendary introduction, Miss Claire.
You're
Thank,
welcome, sir.
thank you, Miss Charity. Good morning. Naimbag na bigat. Am I correct? Ma'am
Yes,
Correct,
sir.
Nora
sir.
from Davao City, Philippines, and to our radio listeners and Facebook viewers. I hope that I'm truly grateful for this invitation by PAARL to chair its Committee on Vision, Mission, Goals, and Objectives, as well as to DIMSU for this invitation to appear live on your Facebook page as well as to broadcast via RPN, Radio Philippine Network. Is this correct? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Radyo
thank you
Pilipinas.
very much. And to our live audience and listening to us this morning, mayong adlaw sa tanan, magandang umaga sa lahat. Now the area that was assigned to me by PAARL is on vision, mission, goals, and objectives.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to discuss what the provisions are or what are the recommendations for this particular area of PAARL standards for academic and research libraries as PAARL proposes this to our libraries throughout the country. So do we have the slides already,
Sir,
Ms.
let me
Claire?
introduce
Yes,
first
sir.
our second speaker, introduce ko po muna, and then you proceed with your
my
presentation.
Oo, babalikan din namin,
my
Sir Briggs.
apologies. My apologies, Ma'am Nora. My apologies. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, let me introduce first our second guest, ma'am, sir, and outing mga kabasa. Okay. All right. Our second speaker is also a legend in the library profession. No? She is a retired but not yet tired professional and registered librarian for 54 years who immensely contributes to the ideals of Philippine librarianship. Our speaker served as ULS Director and Professor from the Benguet State University, a special lecturer in four universities, namely UST, UPILS, UE, and CEU, teaching library and information science in the undergraduate and graduate levels.
Ubusan natin.
She is also designated as library consultant at the National University. On top of that, she's also an accreditor, trustee, and officer of the AACOP Executive Board from 1994 to 2005. Despite her workload in the academe, she takes time to write a book and some publications, and these are managing libraries and information centers in the Philippine setting, teaching information skills, a resource guide in 2002, and proposed library standards for agriculture in the Philippines in 1997, and the BSU Library Handbook in 1995. She is truly amazing. Her 2003. Wow. She was also awarded as the Outstanding Academic and Research Librarian given by the Philippine Association of Academic and Research Librarian or PAARL in 1997. And finally, the plaque of recognition as library consultant in Philippine Military Academy, Baguio City in 1982. With her vast accomplishments and contributions, she is truly a legend in our profession. Let us welcome our second guest, Prof. Nora Hoxon Claravall. Ma'am, good morning. Ma'am, nakamute po.
Ma'am,
Morning,
nakamute po.
Claire. Thank you for that very kind introduction.
Welcome, ma'am.
Ayan.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud
Okay.
and clear.
Okay.
Okay. Okay na po.
Okay.
Alright, Ma'am Claire, siguro simulan na natin dahil alam natin na marami na rin pong nag-aabang itong PAARL Standards, Areas on Mission, Goals and Objectives, and Administration. Kaya unahin na po natin. I think si Dr. Bricio po ang makasagot nitong unang tanong natin, Ma'am Claire, kung ano ba itong Library Mission, Goals and Objectives. Dr. Bricio?
Yes, ma. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay
sir.
po,
Go ahead po.
Go ahead po, sir.
I think nagkakaproblema si sir sa connection.
Ayan.
2010 standards and some minor revisions, which we have incorporated, which we have. Anyway, so do we have the first slide, please? Hello.
Sir, the slide says the site can't be reached. Okay.
Doon dito sa kuan.
Okay, wait lang, sir. Inaayos pa natin. Nakikita niyo na, sir,
Ayan.
yung slide?
Wala po. Alright. Alright, sa ating mga kabasa na nakikinig at nanonood, no? Good morning sa inyong lahat. Our speaker is still in the process of, ayan.
Alam mo, Ma'am Claire, ito
And,
talaga ang hirap kapag
ayos
online,
pa, ang
virtual. Minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng problema talaga sa connectivity.
Itong drawback talaga.
Ito yung challenge
True.
Ayan, challenge pag
Yeah,
mga
those are the
online, virtual
challenges.
na programs. Ayan, pero hoping maayos na. Okay na ba
Not
yung
only
kanyang...
not only with the internet but also with the power, no? The
Oo nga.
electricity. Talagang ang hirap.
Si Sir Bricio, sabi wala ng kuryente, nawalan siya ng kuryente kanina, di ba? Tingnan natin baka makabalik po
Yes,
siya.
ma'am. Oo.
Ayan, power.
Kasi as librarians, no, it is very important if we formulate our vision, mission, and goals because that will guide us all throughout our library services. Right?
Tama.
So, Dr. Beach is here.
Back.
Yan, Dr. Bricio, you're back.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome.
I'm back. Okay. So, as you can read from my phone, yeah, I hope that would be the last of this interrupting.
Sorry, sir, sa ating na-interrupt yung presentation ni sir.
Electrical.
Wala pa yung kayong presentation. Pero nagsasalita.
Problems that we have here. Because there was a heavy down. For last night, we were, and when the vision mission statement of the parent institution, meaning whatever is the vision mission statement of the university or the college under which the library operates, then that of the library also should be anchored on that particular vision mission statement. The difference between a vision and a mission is that a vision is something that you want to achieve, to look forward to in the future, whereas a mission is the who, the what, and the why you are existing in that particular institution. So from that point of view alone, it means that there should be a different formulation of the vision mission statement, with even if you are at the same offerings of degree programs as a college or a university library. All right, let's move on to the next slide. 1.2 in the proposal is that the overall mission of an academic institution is to support the instruction, research, and public service mission of its parent institution. There are three functions of a college or a university. The trifocal functions of a college or university, and this is instruction, research, and extension. Now, instead of using the word extension here in the proposal, we are using the word public service, because each college and university library has a public that it serves. It has a unique public that it serves, and that apart from serving the faculty, the students, and the research staff of the university library or college library is also mandated or should have this function also of rendering service to its various publics. Aside from the students, you have the alumni, the general public, etc. So that's why we incorporated the word public service in this particular proposal. The number two, then the next slide is talks about on the process of how to formulate and articulate the vision mission. So in this particular slide, the proposal says that the academic library should establish coherent goals whose attainment will be measured to determine the extent to which they are successful in fulfilling its mission. So in other words, your mission, you're in the process of articulating your mission. It should be anchored also on the mission of the institution. Now, the next sentence, which says that the underlying goal is to develop and support information literate youth from and a combination of the PAARL standards as well as from the ACRL, or the Academic Association of College and Research Libraries of the United States, an umbrella under the American Library Association. Now, in the old PAARL standards, the words information literate, where the word information literate rather was not yet used because it was not in vogue then. But in the present information technology, in the present the digital age rather, our libraries must develop and support our institutions to develop also information literate users. Now, who are the information literate users? When we speak of them, they are not only users of our traditional printed materials, but also our online resources, our electronic resources, and to how they interface applications using their computers, web-based technologies. So we are already moving towards the digital age, and so it is incumbent upon our libraries to really develop information users. And this objective is to prepare our graduates, not only to become professionals, not only to become successful in their academic career, but such that they are able to do research and contribute to existing knowledge as knowledge that are emerging. More than and over above their professional success and their ability to conduct research is that the library should be able Our next slide, please. All right. It is also required that when we speak of appropriate levels, because our academic and research libraries also cater to graduate school levels as well as those at what we have discussed on the what we have discussed regarding the existence of vocational and technical schools, particularly the technology, technology and the TESDA rather, the TESDA schools affiliated. So since they also have students, we deem it proper to include whatever that they can use based on these proposed standards insofar as setting their objectives and learning outcomes. And not just merely setting them, but these objectives and learning outcomes must be stated in a clear and consistent manner that must have effective mechanisms that these objectives will also achieve the intended outcomes of the students. In other words, the objectives is so that our students will be able to achieve their learning outcomes when they are already or when we do services to them. So that's how we are going to formulate our objectives. Then the next one, in setting up the long-term, short and long-term objectives and goals in fulfillment of the library's mission, the head of the library has a very important role in this regard because he or she should set the motion, should set the energy, should set the inertia towards formulating these goals and objectives in both the long term and the short term. So you may have to identify what is a long term, what is a short term. Maybe a short term would be 5 years, a long term would be from 10 to 15 to 20 years. And as the head of the library, you should know where your library should be going in those number of years that you are going to manage the library. And not only in the formulation, but you should be able to consult the appropriate representatives from the following groups in your institution in order to bring the discussion and to surface the various points of views, both converging and conflicting, concerning the needs, abilities, and issues affecting the library. So who are these groups of people that the head of the library should consult in the formulation of the library's short and long-term goals? So first and foremost, you have the administration officials, basically because they are the ones who will provide the library with the budget. Then the faculty, because they are the ones that we serve together with the students. And they are the ones who generate new knowledge, new information that contribute to the development, not only of the institutions that we serve, but also of the society where we live and where we exist. Then the library staff should know where the library should be going in the next 5, 10, or 15 years. And they should not only know that, but they should imbibe in themselves, ingrain in their heads, and they should put them into heart all the formulated goals and objectives of the library. They should not say that, well, that's only the formulation of sir or mom. No, this is going to be an inclusive activity for the entire library in consultation with all of these people in the college or university where we serve. Then the trustees or it's going to be a pandemic. So it is timely and relevant that our libraries should review its vision, mission, goals, and objectives vis-a-vis the existing health and medical conditions that we are in. There was in the area on facilities and equipment, which was discussed already ahead of us, we went into certain discussion on what really should involve furniture and equipment in the library given the pandemic that we are in. So through that alone, it mandates upon each and every head of the library as well as the support staff to really conduct a process of review and revision. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be 1 year after or 2 years after, because we rather should keep our library's vision, mission, goals, and objectives, not only current and relevant, but also alive in servicing our various clients. So that's the only part of my area on vision, mission, goals, and objectives. And I hope that our audience will also continue to provide us with feedback as to this particular area of the PAARL standards for 2022. And as I've said in my introduction, I'm very thankful for PAARL for giving me this opportunity of chairing the area on the VMGO, as well as to the Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University Library, and the hosts this morning, Miss Charity and Miss Claire,
Yes, sir.
for listening to my presentation. I hope to our listeners, I hope our listeners were able to get what the 2022 VMGO of PAARL would be, so that you will have already an idea what we are going to present to you when we shall be conducting our public consultation with the various stakeholders of PAARL as well as your respective college and university libraries. So sa inyong tanan, salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw, and I hope that you got something from my presentation this morning. Daghang kay salamat.
Yes,
Thank
sir. Thank
you.
you
Thank
so
you, Sir
much,
Briggs.
sir. That was actually very comprehensive, sir, regarding the
Embed already, or can have a separate program where they are going to discuss how to conduct research using library resources. One of the new developments that we have right now is to detect plagiarism, because of course, it's very common among our researchers, not only the students, to actually quote from certain sources. So we have application software that are already available in the market that can detect whether a particular research had been plagiarized to a certain extent, let's say 100%, 75%, or 50%. I'm not going to mention, because these are brand names already.
Yes,
but I'm
sir.
going to mention their brands, but we have plagiarism. The generic term is plagiarism checker, which the library can purchase from the various information providers we have in the country today.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Ma'am Charity, do you have any questions for Dr. Brisho?
Yan. Okay. Ayan, okay na, no? Naririnig na po ako, no?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Okay, so kanina, hindi natin narinig yung question ni Ma'am Claire, pero yung tanong na lang po natin kay Sir Briggs, kasi when it comes to library administration, meron po kayong organizational structures.
Yes
Which
po.
unit po ang library belong? Is it under instruction or a separate unit?
Ano po? I think Dr. Nora would be the right person to
Yes.
answer your question, kasi she would touch on administration.
Okay. Dr. Nora? Andiyan pa si Dr. Nora. Ma'am Nora?
Ma'am Nora, it's your turn.
Yes.
Ayun, si Ma'am Nora.
Ideally, the head library standards, probably they will be able to realize that there are certain ways by which we can revise the position or the structure of the academic library to be placed under the academic services. So it holds true. If they are under the academic services, then their staff or the head librarian, specifically the head librarian, should hold a faculty status, academic non-teaching, if he or she is not teaching. But basically, most of those academic institutions would rather have their head librarians to be under the academic structure of the university and will hold academic or faculty status. So at times they are given certain loads, teaching loads that would require them to become an academic or faculty member of the institution itself. So yun. So that is the ideal situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Nora.
Okay.
No? Ma'am, actually,
Okay.
I know some schools that the libraries is under the student services. Is there a disadvantage of that setup?
Well, not really, because they find out some of those heads of the institution would come up with certain guidelines for them to place the academic library under the student services. Like, for instance, guidance services, the registrar, the health services, and the library services are placed under the student services. So, yon. So, it does not matter provided that you are given an academic status.
Ma'am, I guess you can proceed with your presentation.
Okay.
Ayan.
So, at the outset, allow me to thank Claire Pasqua of the UPenn University of DIMSU
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Charity Priyanesa of DZAG, the
Yes,
radio
ma'am.
announcer, and of course, Dr. Nancy Galban for spearheading this project entitled DIMSU Radio Live Streaming Program, where for 1 week, the subject for discussion is on the proposed PAARL library standards. Revising the PAARL library standards 2010 is the brainchild of Ms. Fe Angela Bersosa, who is instrumental in putting together bits and pieces of the different provisions for the instrument and putting together these bits and pieces of different provision of the major 9 areas. Scrutiny of each area started on September 4, all the way from today. We actually are still putting in some provisions that we find it useful for each area in the standard. Many new ideas came about during the audio chat led by our overall chair, Ms. Fe. She sees to it that each area would be tackled with utmost prudence and considerations. So maraming salamat, Doc Nancy, Claire, Charity, and of course, our very own Ma'am Fe Angela. Now, the PAAR Library Standard, next slide please. The PAARL Library Standards has a new framework and is characterized as follows. The first one is outcome-based and is concerned with acquired knowledge, skills, and desirable attributes. Number two, inclusive of inputs and process, and in fact, effective use of inputs to deliver the intended outcomes. Number three, reflective of what academic librarians do, why they do it, and how they know they are succeeding. And of course, focus on the evaluation guided by a clear statement of the BMGO of the institution and the program outcomes. So I was assigned Area 2 on administration, and I provided sub-areas under this, namely, first, organizational structure and authority of the library head. Second, plans, reports, and manuals. Number three, library committee or board. Number four, ethics and social responsibility. It shall be noted, next slide please. It shall be noted that the 10 provisions under the PAARL 2010 library standards have been considered. I have this tabular format for presentation. Next slide, please. The one on the left in black ink is the existing standard, while the one on the right in yellow color are the proposed provisions. So we have the first provision, sub-area, organizational structure, and authority of the library head. So you see in here, the first 2.1.1, the academic library shall have a clearly defined organizational structure and should be placed directly under the supervision and control of the head of academic affairs. So you see 2.1 in the old library standard was considered and placed under this proposed library standard, and we added it should be placed under directly under the head of the academic affairs, the, the academic library. 2.1.2, the administrative organization of the library shall keep abreast of international and local best practices that adhere to the BMGO of the institution. So it was mentioned by Briggs, the, the proposed BMGO of the library standards for the academic libraries. 2.1.3 is retained provision under 2.2. Okay, next slide, please. So 2.144 is retained, 2.1.5 is retained under 2.4. So we now have 2.1.6. You can see in the black, in the left side of your screen, retain provision under 2.5 and add after experience, preferably at least 5 years of supervision. One with a PhD in library science or related field is preferred. 2.1.7 retain provision under 2.6. Next slide, please. Next slide. 2.2, the next sub-area is on plans, reports, and manuals. 2.1.2.1, the head of the library shall prepare a library development plan, long and short term, in consultation with the university, college officials, and regularly evaluated. The library plans, based on the data and outcomes-based assessment, shall use a variety of methods, both formal and informal. Okay? Na-retain namin yung 2.9 sa old standard, which will be added above. Then 2.2.2, in addition, in order to build its library program and services within the context of the institution's vision and mission, the head of the library shall engage in the overall campus-wide decision-making planning process of the institution as a whole. This is a new provision that is included or suggested from ACRL 2018. Next slide, please. 2.2.3, the head of the library shall submit promptly annual reports, including its accomplishments, with the statistical records of library usage. The annual report shall be used as a tool for planning for the library and the institution as a whole. New provision influenced by the ACR. Can I chat back?
They're not shut back, ma'am.
That's the problem of ICT or the IT.
Yes, ma'am.
The technology that we have in our midst. Sometimes it is unavoidable.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to be patient.
Ayan.
Ayan po, we're back.
Okay. Uh, okay. The third sub area is on library committee or board. 2.3.1, there shall be a library board comprised of deans, chairs, program coordinators, and students representatives of the different programs which shall serve as an advisory body to the academic librarian on matters pertaining to library policies, collection development, and services. So this was a revised provision under 2.7 in the old. 2.3.2, the board shall have demonstrated understanding of library problems and willingness to take genuine interest in the collections beyond those pertaining to their own departments. 2.3.3, the library, wait, go back please, the former slide, please. Yeah. The library board shall meet regularly at least at the beginning of each term and as the need arises to matters pertaining to the academic library. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, the last sub area, ethics and social responsibility. All the provisions under this are new and they are recommended or suggested. Actually, the academic library shall inculcate the concept of corporate responsibility as the parent institution, thus the same for all its stakeholders. The ultimate purpose of CSR is to maximize shared values among the institutions, shareholders, and the academic communities at large. Now, Miss Fe Angela was the one who introduced this statement because it is very important and you can see that in most institutions or in most companies or corporations, they have this corporate social responsibility. So we added the ethical considerations too. So 2.4.1, the academic library shall hold the Code of Ethics for registered librarians as promulgated by the PRC Regulatory Board for Librarians and shall be guided by such principles as fairness, truthfulness, transparency, accountability, and responsibility towards the library staff, the library clients or users, the institutions, the peers and colleagues, and the society in general as well. 2.4.2, the academic librarian shall recognize social responsibilities to the academic communities in actively facilitating instruction, research, and extension functions of the university or college. And then the last one, 2.4.3, the academic librarian shall advance society by educating students and supporting research activities that will improve society. The extent to which an organization accomplishes its social purpose is its social utility. Okay? So those are the four sub areas under administration. So my conclusion, if you believe it will work out, you will see opportunities. If you don't believe it will work out, you'll see obstacles by Wayne Dyer. Thank you and stay safe and well.
And thank you
Thank you
very
so
much, Dr. Nora. Any
Thank you.
reaction po, Ma'am Claire?
Yes, napakaganda ng presentation ni Ma'am Nola. Alright, actually Ma'am No, I have some queries because as I've seen it, the proposed standards is very explicit, no?
Mm-mm.
And
Mm.
one of the things that was included in your presentation is that the library director or the head should have a doctorate degree or
PhD.
PhD.
Oo.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
But right now, who is actually qualified to be the director or head of an academic library? What are the qualifications, ma'am?
Well, in any institution, they have their own criteria to select the head. But basically, first, to be the head of the library, you must be a graduate of a masteral degree program on LIS, because this is an academic institution. So your educational qualification should be higher than those under the school library. So yon. So and then the second one is, um, you should be registered. When we mean registered, you have passed the board exam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yun. Because you cannot practice without the
License.
board,
License.
the license.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then the third one is on your experience. Remember, this is an academic institution. 5 years or so would be very much welcomed by the institution for you to head the academic library. Now, it is mentioned in the standard that one with a PhD holder is preferred, meaning to say, it may not be a requirement, but it is the preference of the head of the institution between one who has a degree holder of a doctoral degree holder and the one who has only a masteral degree holder. So you can, as the head of the institution, then you get the one that has the PhD degree, because masteral degree holder will only connote for those who have been in the field and have been in the higher education level. Even in teaching, you cannot teach in the higher education if you do not have a masteral degree. So the same holds true with the academic service on the academic library. So yon. So those are the qualifications that I think would be considered to be the head of the academic library. And there are a lot of our librarians now who have already graduated on their PhD degrees, and those who are already continuing their studies under the PhD level. So, yun. So they're qualified.
Ayun, thank you so much, Ma'am Nora. All right. So, actually, Ma'am, since your topic is all about administration, okay, let me just ask about library manual, Ma'am. So, if
Okay.
yes, Ma'am, can you tell us about the library manual? If there's some standards regarding creating it?
Library manuals are actually what? There are procedure. These are flexible documents. These are flexible documents that can be used for different purposes. No, because you have the policy manuals, you have the procedural manuals, you have the operations manuals, and even you have a user's manual for your electronic gadgets in the library. So all these are all considered to be a library manual. So as an academic librarian, you have to prepare each of these different types of manuals. And of course, the training manuals as well. Let's say you have introduced an integrated library system. So of course, it is a requirement for the library staff to undergo a training component of that particular integrated library system. So yon. So it is very important. It is one of the documents usually that would be seen or that would be exhibited by the academic library to be shown to the accreditation process. Especially the accreditors, they have to see to look into some documents needed to warrant what you have placed in your documents in the different areas. So yon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nora. Actually, no, ma'am, tama ka. The library has so many manuals in the library, ano talaga, na ginagamit, no? And one thing, may bago pa, if your school is under ISO, actually,
Ayan.
there is also a separate ISO manual, no, for the library, ma'am, di
Yes,
ba?
yes, that's true. Yes.
Oo, it's
That
because
is true. I agree.
kasi po parang ano in ISO, it's very explicit about the policies in the library. Yung talagang kailangan. And it's actually a controlled document, no, ma'am? Ayan.
Mm.
Ayan, ma'am. Ma'am Charity, do you have any questions before we proceed?
Ang bilis din ng oras, ano, Ma'am Claire? Pero
Yes,
bago po
ma'am.
natin sila bitawan siguro, baka pwede nating ipashare kina Dr. Nora and Dr. Bricio yung importance naman po ng pagkakaroon natin ng standards on the mission, goals, objectives, and administration.
Okay. So what is the important? Bricks, can you say something?
Dr. Briggs, naka-mute po yata kayo.
This is the problem with technology. When you forget. The VMGO actually is the first part of any document that you are going to read in a library setting, because it sets the tone of what this institution is, why this institution exists, where this institution is going. So the VMGO actually defines the total personality of an academic or research library. So it is very important that before you are even able to deliver the services of your library, you know where you are working and why you are working for that particular library. Because unless and until you know where you situate yourself and you know what's the role of the library in a university or a college setting, you will never be able to go where you would want to go. So it's just like you're reporting to the library every day, you're doing something, but you are not accomplishing anything. So the vision, mission, goals, and objectives will direct your path where the library should be going. Should I say, on a more nobler statement, it should direct you to the path of righteousness, so that you will not be misguided in the performance of your duties and responsibilities in the library.
Okay. May I add
Yes po.
what is the importance of having standards on library, MGO, and administration? Now, actually, it is the seal of collegiate quality. When you look at the BMGO posted in every corner of your department or library or in any other areas, your students will be guided on how they behave inside the institution, on how they behave outside of the institution. And it is also the cornerstone of self-regulation in colleges and universities. It is established criterion and evaluation can be made. So you see, BMGO and administration are very important as part of the standards. Also, having standards on administration, as mentioned by BRICS, is necessary to direct and coordinate the components of the library. What are those components of the library? Its staff, services, collection, facilities, and linkages. So that is how important BMGO and administration are as part of the library standards of PAARL.
Okay, thank you very much po, Ma'am Nora and Dr. Briggs. And Ma'am Claire?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, no, I have a question for Ma'am Nora. Because Ma'am
Yes.
Nora presented a while ago the different changes and updates of the PAARL standard from the old one, 2010, I guess, versus 2022 proposed standards. Yan. Ma'am, my query is that, what is the basis of the revision of the newly proposed standard? So, paano po ba nyo ito ginagawa?
The basis is to keep attuned on the relevancy of the times. Remember 2010 and we are now 2021. So how many years back? So we need to review the different criteria that are found in the standards. So yun.
Mahigit isang dekada na rin.
Yes. And there are many changes, di ba,
Yes.
ma'am, sa
Yes,
educational
yes.
system. Just like
Correct,
what's
correct.
happening right now.
Yes, correct.
Naayon at napapanahon na ngayon.
Correct.
Ayun. Ayun, Ma'am Charity. Those
Yes?
are actually my different queries about
Okay.
our esteemed guest.
So bago natin bitawan si Ma'am Nora and Sir Briggs, baka pwede po muna kayong magbigay ng mensahe po, Ma'am, sa ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood because kulang na rin po tayo sa ating oras. So mauna na po siguro si Ma'am Nora.
Ah, sa lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig ng this very noble project of DMSU, Radio Live Streaming Program, I hope you are able to get some information and have it practiced in your respective academic libraries later on. Once the standards would have been approved in a public consultation later. So there would be timelines on this. And after this has been approved, then we can manifest our advocacy for a loadable and efficient, effective services to our clients in relation to the standards that have been met by your respective academic libraries. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Claire and Charity, for the time you have spent to us. And I hope that we are able to provide you the necessary information.
Well, kayo po magpapasalamat, Ma'am, sa oras po na binigay po nyo sa amin. We know na napaka-busy po ninyo. At nabigyan po kami ng pagkakataon. Well, Sir Briggs, any message din po sa ating mga listeners and viewers?
Yeah, at the outset, I would like to thank Miss Charity and Miss Claire for this opportunity, as well as to Ma'am Fe for assigning me to this area, and also to our live audience, as well as the MMSU, and to the entire PAARL membership in the entire country. I hope they are listening right now. For this opportunity to be part of the historical development of the standards of our academic and research libraries in the Philippines. I would like to echo the statement of Ma'am Nora that this is not our standards in the committee, but these are our standards as academic and research libraries. So we enjoin everyone to really contribute to its finer and more developments attuned to the times in writing standards for our respective institutions. And as a parting statement, I'd like to quote some very powerful statements about vision and mission. Writing a vision statement for your business and for your library, for that matter, is a daunting task. For one thing, it must define your company or library, and more importantly, its future. For another, you don't want your vision mission statement to be relegated to a forgotten poster hanging in the office or your lobby. A powerful vision statement stays with you, such as Disney's to make people happy, or Instagram's capture and share the world's moments. A vision statement should encapsulate your organization's core ideals and provides a roadmap to where it wants to go. So having said that, good morning, everyone.
Ayun, thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Bricio and Ma'am Nora Claravall. Maraming salamat.
Kaya bago
It's been
natin
an
sila,
honor.
yes, Ma'am Claire, bago natin sila bitawan, meron po munang ipipresent si Dr. Nancy para sa ating mga guests ngayong morning. Dr. Nancy.
Dr. Nancy, good morning. Sorry, I forgot to
Hi.
mention you.
Good morning to Sir Briggs at saka Ma'am Nora. It's really nice to see you both. Ano, very close kayo sa akin kaya ganyan. Ma'am Nora, pasensya na po ha kasi may nagkaroon kasi nagsabay-sabay kasi yung ano natin dito sa library kasi ongoing din kasi yung webinar namin sa association namin dito sa Ilocos Region. So parang nagkaroon ng pero for almost 1 week na kasi na mayroon kaming sa internet kaya pero okay naman siya. Naging okay naman siya. It's nice that you've been with us and you have shared us a very sabi nga natin not only informative but comprehensive information, especially when it comes to our library standards. Kasi ito yung kailangan natin ngayon for the library. And in behalf of DMSU, I just want to present to you your e-certificate, but we will send you this one to your email also. And hopefully, pag okay na yung sitwasyon, ay magkaroon tayo ng parang banding dito sa Region 1. Get together with Servisyo. Okay. Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, sa Pilang Bacnotan, La Union, Integrated Library System presents this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Nora G. Claravall, former director of the Benguet State University, but si Ma'am Nora ngayon is already affiliated to a certain university in NCR, for sharing her invaluable knowledge and expertise on the topic PAARL Stndrds, Areas on Mission, Goals, Objectives, and Administration during the DMSU Library on Air program at South La Union Campus, Agoo, La Union, given this 28th day of October 2021, signed Dr. Jaime Ipac Manuel Jr., University President. We just want to congratulate you, ma'am. Yan. And then, the same text is given also to Dr. Bricio M. Merced Jr., the University Librarian of the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, for sharing his invaluable knowledge and expertise on the topic PAARL Stndrds, Areas on Mission, Goals, Objective, and Administration during the DMSU Library on Air program at South La Union Campus, Agoo, La Union. Given this 28th day of October 2021, signed Dr. Jaime Ipac Manuel Jr., DMSU University President. Congratulations, sir, and we thank you for your time. We know how busy you are. Mas lalo na si Ma'am Nora, masyadong busy yan, madaming ginagawa yan. So, it's an honor that DMSU are sharing the PAARL revision. Especially at this time na kailangan na natin dahil nga ito na yung hinihintay ng CHED for us to really implement the new standards for 2022. Since 2010, marami na po tayong dapat i-revise talaga that is really fitted for the librarians as well as for the administrators and institution for quality and excellence, sabi nga nila. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Hopefully to see you. God bless you. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Ma'am Charity.
Alright, Ma'am Claire, baka pwede na natin itong pansamantalang pagpapaalam. Go ahead po, Ma'am Claire.
Yes, thank you so much. At sa punto pong ito, kami po ay pansamantalang magpapaalam. Ako po muli ang inyong kabasa, Claire Pascua with the Team Library. And in behalf with the Team Library, we would like to acknowledge Dr. Jaime Ipac Manuel Jr., our University President, Dr. Joanne Rivera, SLUC Chancellor, and Dr. Sonia Shago Isip, our Director in the Library, and Dr. Nancy F. Galvan, the Head of the Library Services and Development SLUC, and of course, Professor Rubilin C. Nara, Head LSD and MLUC. Ayan, thank you so much, Ma'am Nora, Dr. Bricio, and sa lahat ng buo.
Thank you.
Library on Air.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Our
So,
pleasure.
yes po. At sa ngalan din po ng lahat ng bumubuo ng DZAG, Radyo Pilipinas, Agoo, headed by Station Manager Ms. Maricel Fronda. Ito po ang inyong lingkod, Charity Jimenez Frianeza. Nag-iwan na po ng isang magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. God bless everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Inyong napakinggan, usapang
kaalaman mula sa Silid Aklatan, Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, South La Union Campus. SLUC Library, the storehouse of knowledge. Library on Air. Muli nyo kaming samahan sa susunod na Webes at Biyernes, alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umaga para sa panibagong kaalaman. Dito lang sa 97.1 DZAG Radio Pilipinas, Agoo.